Firstly, thank you for accepting my invitation and accepting to be on my show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So I've gone through your profile and I came to know that you are an author and you're from Toronto, Canada.
Yes, I am born and raised.
So you born in Canada and you live in Canada right now.
Yes, I do in Toronto.
So I thought to tell about you and your work to my audience.
Thank you.
So
Yes, I'm well, I do have a full-time job. During the day, I work in an insurance company, and I'm a mother of five, and I also an author. My first book, I just came out a couple weeks ago, and it's called 2 to 3 Tears.
so you're not a full-time author, you become author.
Yes. Yes, I do have a full-time job during the day, but I wrote a book on the side.
So why you become an author and this name looks very uh, emotional, 2 to 3 tears, and who is the reason why you wrote this, and is this your personal experience or you collected it from the real world?
Well, I've always wanted to. I've always enjoyed writing. Back in high school, I started to write a book, but it never came to fruition. And throughout my life, a lot of things have happened, and I always heard from people, you should write a book. And yeah, there was a lot of trauma, I guess, and various things that happened to me throughout my life, and I kept hearing over and over from people, how are you still smiling after going through all that you've been through, and you should really write a book, and it could, maybe bring hope to other people that are going through the same things. And so it was a long process, and finally, one day I just decided I'm going to do it, and I sat down and I wrote, and it just flowed out of me, and I it was a very cathartic process at first, and I took a break. I stepped away from it for a good about 6 months, and then I went back and read it as how maybe a reader would read it, and decided to rewrite the whole thing, and I did, and the book is, to answer your question, it's a memoir about my life, but it's more than that, because it deals with so many issues, from mental health, disease, trauma, abusive relationship, um, cancer survivor, many surgeries, so many things. And the real hope that I had in writing it was that if someone would be able to find themselves in one or more of the scenarios in my book, and be able to identify and find hope or inspiration to persevere through whatever they're going through. And I think that we all reach a certain point in our lives at a certain stage where we stop and take a look back at our life of, why did things happen the way they happen? Why did this happen to me? And it's a growing process. And so my book sort of speaks to that, of taking a pause and looking back at things and trying to answer, why did things happen? And it's more of a story just to really bring encouragement and hope and inspiration to people. And the reason why I called it 2 to 3 Tears is because, there's people that everyone experiences some sort of pain or trauma or at some point in their lives. and we're human. It's okay to stop and feel the emotions. I spent most of my life running away from those emotions and pretending that everything was okay despite what was going on, but that's not a healthy way to be. It's okay to feel the emotions. It's just not healthy to get stuck in them and have them take over your life. So yes, go and cry into a pillow or scream, but then you come to a point where you need to move on past that, and the book speaks to that as well.
Are you the person who was into the control of your own emotions?
Control of my own emotions.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's always a natural emotion that comes up and which we don't have control over, right? When something happens, you have that first initial reaction, but we all have a choice of what we do with those emotions afterwards, of how they manifest, I guess. So, I can't control my initial reactions sometimes, but I can control what I say or what I do with them.
So you're explaining the reasons for the emotions that was created in you, and you're explaining the consequences of the emotions of yours.
It's to a point, yes, and it's also how to, when things happen to you, like for example, I suffered a brain injury from a car accident, and it was a difficult time, and I still struggle to this day, but I really believe that good can come out of even the worst of scenarios. We can't always see it in the time when we're going through it, and it might take years to look back, but I do believe that there is a reason to why things happen, and that good can come out of it if we look for it.
And I never seen any author writing a book with the name of this. I don't know.
I don't
So
even know how I came up with the title. It just came to me one day, and it seemed to really fit everything. So yeah.
so you're explaining the physical and mental pain of yours.
That too, and I mean, I'm been through cancer. I've been through abusive relationships. I've been through, searching for love in all the wrong places, and I've had heart surgery. I've had 22 surgeries. There's so many things, but yet I found a way to persevere and not let. I mean, I have also an incurable disease called ankylosing spondylitis, but I don't let those things define who I am. They're things that happen to me, and yes, I deal with them, but they don't define who I am. And it's really about persevering through life's challenges. And I've had some feedback from people that have read my book that said that they found it very inspiring, and that they didn't feel so alone after they read it because of what they're experiencing in their lives. So, and that was really the goal of my book. I thought when I decided to publish it, that if I could just bring one person out there hope or inspiration through the telling of my story, then for me it would be all worth it.
So what type of cancer you had?
I had cervical cancer.
Is that cured now?
Yes, it is. Yeah, that was quite a long time ago. That was sort of the first of many things to come. That I've had, heart surgeries, hip replacements, knees, we had metal all over. Most people who know me can't tell because I I hide it well. I don't want to wear. I mean, I struggle daily with chronic pain as well. But there's more to life than that, and I really just focus on the positive things that I have in my life versus all the things that I don't have or that I can't do anymore because of all the things that have happened.
So are you out of your brain injury? Are you okay now?
For the most part, I still do struggle, especially when I'm overwhelmed or if there's a stressful situation. My brain sometimes goes a little haywire and I do get fatigued a little more easy. Sometimes I have trouble finding words, but I found that certain strategies have helped me. So like, meditation, prayer, so many different things that I've implemented into my life that have helped.
So I never seen any person who went into the mental and physical trauma and had a lot of pain and still be so confident and still become an author and ready to tell the story of them. You're very it seems it looks yeah. Can I repeat again?
Sure, yes.
Yeah, I never seen any person who was into mental and physical pain like you felt, and I don't think I will see also because it seems you went into very bad situation or you have experienced very the top level of pain mentally physically. I can understand that because of because the number of surgeries that you had at the same time. That is very painful, and like you said, you came out of your cancer. That's fantastic. It's amazing. So that makes me feel very happy because my mother is a cancer patient. So she took chemo in the last 6 months. So I have seen her very closely. I'm with her all the time, and I know how it feels when eating food, and I have seen it. I have seen that pain with my eyes. I don't think there will be more painful for a human being more than that. So I know that physical pain. She didn't wrote book, but you wrote it. So I can imagine how intense it is. So
well, I hope she gets better. And there's always going to be somebody out there that has it worse, and there's always going to be some people out there that have it better. The focus is that we're dealt with what we're dealt with, and we have to deal with it the best way that we can, that it doesn't consume us. And I really find that trying to focus on the positive, our brains are so powerful, and if you really focus on the negative things, they become worse and worse, and it really consumes you. So I really make a conscious effort every day, and I have my bad days too, or bad moments, but I really try to, every day I focus on what I'm grateful for and what I have. It's so easy to slip into the path of focusing on what I can't do anymore, or the things I don't have. But that's just going to bring me down a bad path. So I really try to focus and on the positive things and what I can do. And yeah.
your smile is extremely positive.
Thank you. Well, I hope
So
I hope that when people read my book, they can, find some point of inspiration or hope. That we all have strength built into us, and we just have to tap into it and find a way. And for me, everybody has a different source. For me personally, my faith played a big part in that as well. And then also, I felt like I didn't really have a choice. I mean, I've got 5 children, and I have to carry on, and I have to do the best, and I want to be a good example for them. I want them, when they go through life, reaching tough situations, that they have a model to how to face it.
So that is what my next question is. So, what is the exercise, the mental exercise that you did in order to give yourself boost and motivate yourself and make things possible? Your mom of 5 children, and you have to do your own things. Nobody's going to help you. You have to just you know inject the positivity in yourself in order to come out from that negative feeling of yours. So what is the exercise that you did, and what worked for you, and what is working for you to be so strong and to be inspiration for a lot of people today?
Well, for me, first and foremost, on a personal level, like I said, my faith plays a big role. I pray. I also, I meditate, and that's been a huge help for my brain. I eat healthy. Diet plays such a big role in our, everything's connected. Your physical, your emotional, spiritual, it's all connected. So we have to work on all areas to really thrive. So I try to eat healthy. I exercise. There's certain thing. I mean, I can't run anymore, but I find other ways. I walk, and I work out, and I take time. I think it's just really knowing yourself and when to stop, and that's always been a struggle of mine. I've always been the type of person that has pushed the limits, and it doesn't always work out well. So I've learned from that just to really know where my boundaries and my limits are, when to take a step back, when I need to go and rest, when I have to say no to a friend that I can't go out with because I need time to recuperate. So there's so many things, but those are really the top ones. And I did go through a lot of counseling throughout my life to deal with the emotional stuff as well.
It's amazing. So who are going to connect with the experience of yours, the physical and the mental pain of yours? You have expressed that with your own vocabulary, with your own words, and how much time you took for this to put it in the book. And are you feeling okay now, because everything gone out now, your pain?
Well, no, I still struggle on it. I mean, I still have chronic pain, or I still deal with it on a daily basis, and some days are better than others. I've been on a pretty good, I've got a good team of doctors and on medications and stuff. As for how long the book took, it took about 2.5 years for it to really come out, because it went in waves. Sometimes I was feeling inspired, and sometimes I wasn't. So I just went with it.
So
and I'm
who are
sorry, I
going
forgot
to?
the other part of your question.
Yeah, go on.
No, I forgot the other part of your question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, who are going to connect with the experience of yours?
I think most people, I mean, generally my target audience was, 30 and up, but really anybody who's experienced any kind of trauma or illness, injuries, or even have a family member. Sometimes even, if you know somebody that's going through it, you can really see what it's like and maybe have greater insight on how to help the person and be there. But for someone who's in a situation, to feel, less alone, and how to really persevere. And so, yeah, it's a pretty wide audience, I guess.
Are you the person who is narrating your story in the book, or you just created a character which explains it?
No, it's all my story, and it's written about me and my life.
So is this after your kids or before your kids?
After, the after.
Okay. So what is the response that you got?
Well, it just came out about 2 weeks ago, so it's still in the early stages. And the funny thing is that I thought writing the book was the hard part, but really hard part is marketing it. So, I'm learning now, so I'm not very technologically friendly. I've struggled with that. So I did manage to learn how to build my own website, and I'm slowly learning how to market more, but that's a lot more challenging than I thought it was. But so far I've had quite a number of reviews, and not even family have reviewed it yet, or friends. So these are people that I don't know, and I've had a lot of really positive feedback. I've had a lot of 5-star reviews on Amazon and Goodreads that people have. One lady told me that she was so glad that she found somebody that was like her, and made her feel, even though she was on the other side of the world, that it made her feel less alone, that there is somebody else going through something similar to what she's going through. And some people have said that they found it to be very inspiring and very entertaining to read. It's fast paced. So yeah, I'm happy with it so far.
So can I call this collection of words of yours as the intensified negative emotions of yours?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Can I call this a collection of vocabulary which is there in your book as the intensified emotions of yours? You have uh, put it in that form and named it as 2 to 3 tiers of yours.
Yeah, I guess that's one way of looking at it.
Okay.
But the main purpose of it was to really bring hope and inspiration to people, just to encourage to persevere and through the telling of my story.
So you was alone when you're feeling this, or do you had any help?
Uh, I was very much alone a lot of the times. There was a time after I had my hip replacement. I was young, and I didn't know anybody else in my age group or anybody that had gone through the same thing. And I was told that I would never walk again. And obviously I can now, and I did a lot of healing, but I lost my train of thought. Pardon me. I'm sorry, I lost my place. That's my brain.
But it seems you're very, very good than the people who don't have any surgeries or don't have any injuries, have very good mental and physical health. You look very healthy.
Well, I mean, I think there's been a lot of movement now in the media about invisible illnesses, right? I mean, just because if you're not in a wheelchair doesn't mean that you have ailments and stuff. And I've gone through pretty great pains to hide it too.
So what was what you felt after, before writing the book and after your feelings, what you felt, what was your feeling? You felt like I'm living in a world where there is completely negative people, or you're going to get all the negative emotions in this world because there was no support for you, and there was no hope for you. So what was your feeling, and what you're feeling at that particular time when you're sitting somewhere alone?
Right. Yeah. So now I remember my train of thought. After my hip replacement, when I was told I wouldn't walk, I felt very alone, and I was alone. I wasn't with my current husband at the time. Again, I felt alone, but there was something deeper inside me that just knew I had to keep going. I had two young kids, and I was a single mother at the time, and for me there was no choice. I knew that I had to just keep going for their sake, and there were times when they were the thing that kept me going.
So what is driving you? What drove you at that time when you're alone?
My kids my kids, I just wanted to be a good mother and show them what it's like to persevere. That was the goal at that time. I mean, now, and that was years ago. Now, it's my faith that keeps me going.
So what people are going to feel after reading your book? Do they feel that do they feel empathetic, or they feel, oh my God, I never seen any person who went into this kind of stage in my life. So what they are going to feel, and what do you think that they are going to feel?
Well, it's not meant to be a sob story, right? Like people who have read it said that yes, there's some heartbreaking moments in there, but overall, there was a feeling that it was very encouraging and inspiring, and so I think that's what they will feel once they've read it.
Okay, so I have few more questions. If you allow me, I will ask.
Sure.
Yeah. So is this book is from your early stage of your life, or you just have explained it from a particular age of yours?
No, it goes pretty quickly through from early on. But yeah, it does go through my whole life.
Okay, so which means your childhood also.
It touches on it briefly, yes.
Okay, okay. So your kids, you explained about your kids also.
Briefly, yes.
Okay, so what do you want to say to my audience and to the world who is watching and listening to you? So do what there may be people from anywhere on this planet. So what do you want to say about your book?
Well, first buy it. But there's always hope, and there's always light that can be found even in the darkest of corners. Yeah, that's the main message.
Awesome. So I hope you'll become completely normal one day, and do what you want in your life. And I'm sure after 10 years, you're going to be something that you wanted with the lovely kids of yours. So,
Thank you.
so I'll put, if you send me your links, your website links, and the book. Your book is on Amazon, right?
Yes, it's on all major bookstores across the world. So yeah, Amazon is one of them, but it's Barnes and Nobles or Chapters or Kobo. It's everywhere. You just have to Google my name, Suzie Klimt, Klimt is the last name. So, and I'll put a link to my website as well.
Yeah, I'll put all your links in the description. People who finds our video on YouTube can find your books and can read it, and they can understand what you felt in your life.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I've watched a few of your videos, and you've done a good job.
So that's what my next question is. So, what as a person who felt extremely intense emotions in your life, so what do you say? Me talking with the different country people who are feeling different emotions in different times of their lives. having different experiences, being in different professions, being in different countries, me collecting all these experiences and putting on one platform. What do you think? What is your observation as an intense person?
I think that we can all learn from each other, right? If we let ourselves, and I like hearing about other people's stories, and you know, we're always learning, and if we're open to it, there's always something that we can learn from somebody else. So it's a great idea to share.
So what do you think that is working for me? Like you said, uh, you have seen my videos. I took interviews of people who are about 400 plus interviews who are into, like, who are police officer, doctors, engineers, musicians, authors. Everybody is there. So me talking, what do you think that is working for me to connect with everybody?
Well, I mean, it's nice that it's so diverse that you take from all different walks of life. That it's not just one particulars, and it's interesting to learn about people's lives and um, get to feel what other people are experiencing, because we never stop learning from each other.
So thank you very much for your observation, and I hope uh, I hope your book reaches to a lot of people in the world, not only to Canadians, to Indians, or to Bangladeshi, Sri Lankans, to everywhere. So I hope you will feel the positive emotions very soon, maybe extreme positive emotions.
Thank you very much. I wish the same for you. That you have much success in your career.
I'll meet you when I come to Canada. I got a job there.
Oh, it's great. Toronto,
Yeah, Toronto. Yeah.
great city.
So I'll take your interview and I'll tell about what people said about the emotions that you expressed through the book of yours.
Great. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you for your valuable time, and thank you for accepting it instantly, and thanks for being on my show again.
All right. Thank you very much.
So can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yes.
And also, can I put this video on audio clip on my podcast, website, internet, social media, website, everywhere with your permission?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.